Nancy Drew Mystery Stories, number 26, The Clue of the Leaning Chimney, by Carolyn Keene. Copyright 1949 and 1967. Chapter 1, The Mysterious Stranger. Oh, Nancy, this road is so lonely. And here we are with all this money. It'd be awful if it were stolen. Bess Marvin gripped the handbag in her lap a bit more tightly and peered nervously through the windshield of the convertible. A dark forest flowed past the car on either side of the road. Black clouds were gathering in the night sky, and the wind whispered dismally through the swaying trees. The pretty, somewhat plump girl shivered slightly. "Cheer up, Bess," comforted the slim, Titian-haired driver. "We'll soon be home." Nancy Drew spoke with more confidence than she felt, as she deftly steered the car around a turn in Three Bridges Road. Her blue eyes mirrored a slight uneasiness in her own thoughts. She glanced at the handbag in Bess's lap. It contained $342.63, the proceeds of a charity rummage sale the two 18-year-old girls had run that evening in Masonville. Nancy, who was treasurer of the group, had the responsibility of depositing the money in a River Heights bank. Studying the dark, deserted road ahead, she wondered if she had not made a mistake in taking the lonely shortcut. The attractive girl tucked a stray wisp of hair into place and put the thought firmly out of her mind. "Don't be a ninny," she chided herself. "Just because there's no traffic, that's no reason to start imagining things." "Nancy, can't you drive faster?" Bess asked. Stealing a look at her nervous companion, Nancy smiled with affection. Bess was one of her closest friends. There was a sudden flash of lightning, followed by a clap of thunder. A few drops of rain spattered against the windshield. "Oh dear," wailed Bess. "More trouble." Nancy did not comment. The car was approaching a series of sharp, twisting curves in the road just this side of Hunter's Bridge. Driving safely around them required all her attention. As they rounded the final turn, the headlights suddenly focused on a man. He was bending over something in the road, directly in the path of the car. He was unaware of Nancy's car. Bess screamed. Nancy twisted the steering wheel frantically, at the same time jamming her wrist against the horn and stepping on the brake. There was a screech of tires as the car swerved past the man and came to a stop 30 feet beyond. Did we? Bess stuttered, unable to speak the awful thought that they had hit the man. Nancy quickly took a flashlight from the front compartment and got out of the car. The man was lying in the middle of the road. "Oh, Bess," she cried fearfully. "He's hurt." But even as she hurried toward him, the man stumbled to his feet and began looking around him in the road as if he had lost something. "Are you all right? I didn't hurt you?" Nancy asked. To her astonishment, he growled, "Go away!" The brim of his battered felt hat was pulled low over his forehead, and the turned-up collar of his topcoat concealed his mouth and chin. But Nancy got a quick glimpse of a pair of piercing black eyes. Abruptly, the man ran across the road and ducked behind some bushes. "Is this what you're looking for?" Nancy called, picking up a bundle which had rolled off to one side. "Put that bundle down and get out of here," he ordered sharply. "But I want to help," Nancy protested. "You may be hurt." "Listen, sister, I'm okay." His rough voice cut in. "But if you don't go now, you'll get hurt." As if to emphasize the threat, a rock, hurled out of the darkness, struck the road a scant 6 inches away and bounded into the ditch. Bess, who had come up behind Nancy, tugged at her friend's sleeve. "Come on," she whispered nervously. "He means it." But Nancy, her suspicions aroused, turned over the bundle she was holding. As she stared through a large tear in the paper, another rock, well aimed this time, smashed Nancy's flashlight. It also shattered Nancy's chance of getting a better look at the stranger's bundle. Bess uttered a squeak of fear. "Oh, Nancy, hurry! Put that thing down and come on!" This time Nancy obeyed the warning and hurried back to the car. Rain was falling in large drops as she started the motor. Nancy looked back, but neither the man nor the bundle was in sight. "Whew," said Bess as they drove through the downpour. "Next time you stop to talk to a man on a deserted road, count me out." Nancy laughed. "He certainly was nasty," she agreed. "Too bad we couldn't get a good look at him." "What do you suppose was in that old bundle that made him act so funny?" Bess asked. "A vase," Nancy told her. "At least from what I could see, it looked like one. Green porcelain with an enormous red claw." "Green porcelain with a red claw," Bess repeated. "That's odd." "Why?" "Well, it sounds an awful lot like a vase on display in the window of Dick Milton's pottery shop," Bess went on. "Dick's face is green too, and it has a black Chinese dragon with red claws." Dick Milton was a cousin of Bess's. He had a small shop on Bedford Street in River Heights where he made and sold pottery. The young man also held classes in ceramics, one of which Bess was attending. "The vase is beautiful," Bess went on. "Dick didn't make it. Somebody lent it to him, I think." Bess babbled on, explaining the perfection of the vase with the enthusiasm of one who has just learned how various pottery pieces are made. "You ought to join our class," she said. "It's lots of fun." Nancy found her attention wandering. Her thoughts went back to the man in the road. What was he doing in such a deserted place so late at night? Obviously, he had not wanted to be seen. Her car, suddenly rounding a curve, had caught him unawares. And why had he behaved so strangely about the vase? Could it, by any chance, be the one from Dick Milton's shop? "Why, Nancy, you're not even listening!" Bess's voice broke in accusingly. "I'm sorry, Bess," she apologized. "I was thinking of that man and how suspiciously he acted." "I know what that means," Bess declared. "You're itching for a new mystery to solve." Nancy, the daughter of a prominent criminal lawyer, was well known for her ability as an amateur detective. People who were in trouble frequently came to her for assistance. The rain had ceased and a few stars began to flicker as Nancy drove through River Heights. When she turned into Bedford Street, Bess noted their new direction with surprise. "This is the way to Dick's shop." "I know," said Nancy. "I want to look at his window." Soon she eased the convertible to a stop under a street lamp in front of the pottery shop. The two girls got out and hurried to the plate glass window. Nancy frowned with anxiety as she peered at the clay dishes and bowls displayed on a black velvet background. There was no vase. Nancy tried the door. It was locked. "The dragon vase has been stolen," Bess whispered. "Let's not jump to conclusions," said Nancy as she tried to quell her own fears. "Perhaps Dick put the vase somewhere else for the night. I'll phone him to make sure." They walked quickly down the street to a corner drugstore. Nancy slipped into a telephone booth and dialed Dick's number. A sleepy hello answered. "Dick Milton?" asked Nancy. "This is Nancy Drew. I'm sorry to call you so late, but it's urgent." "What's the matter?" Dick asked excitedly. "It's about the dragon vase in your store window," replied Nancy. "It isn't there now. Did you remove it?" "The dragon vase? No." Dick Milton's voice trembled with emotion. "It was there when I closed the shop. You say it isn't there now?" "I'll get the police," Nancy offered. "Tell them Dick gasped. "The vase doesn't belong to me, and it's worth thousands of dollars." End of chapter 1.